Hi, everybody. This is MsG here coming to talk to you about how I created my comic review final, and it's proficient. So just remember when you first open up, you need to zoom in to like 100% so you can see the text. Okay. So obviously, the first thing is I had the rubric next to me as I was working. So I knew I needed a picture of one of the covers. This is the cover from the first issue. I have my name. I have my name right here. I have the title and the numbers of all of the books in the series. For me, there were five. So 100, 101, 102, 103, and 104. The author was Matt Rosenberg and the artist was Travel Foreman. So I put those in. For the summary, it's kind of tricky to sum up five books in just a few sentences without giving everything away. So what I did is I kind of started off where I felt like the readers, like as a reader, how it moved forward for me. So I said, everyone thinks Black Widow is dead. Hydra Cap beheaded her after all. In the series before this, Captain America turned evil and he killed Natasha and he chopped her head off. I'm not joking. So her story picks up with this idea that everyone thinks the Black Widow is dead, except someone is killing off Hydra leaders in Nat's signature style. Both Hawkeye and Winter Soldier, who have both been her boyfriends before, cross paths with the other in search of the sneaky killer. Ends up, Nat is back in a way which is totally crazy, and she is killing off the Hydra leaders who nearly destroyed the world. She's also out to destroy the place that created her, the Red Room. So will Hawkeye and Winter Soldier help her, stop her, or survive her? So in this summary, I tried to mix in all the characters who were really important, some of the action that was important, and I tried not to give too much away. Okay. So when I wrote a sentence like, will Hawkeye and Winter Soldier help her, stop her, or survive her? That's like three very different things because all of those three very different things happen in the story. Okay. This is the part that will probably take most of your time. I had to go, so I read the story, I read all five comic books in a row first, just to get the basic idea of the story. Then I went back and I looked at specific things and that could help me put this together. Okay. So this time the summary kind of overview is just in one place. The part I'm really excited to see from you all are the reasons you loved your superhero story, the book that you read, the series that you read. I'm going to come back to this in a second. For me, one of my favorite parts is I do talk about at the end. I don't give too much away, but I was pretty excited, so I wrote about this. This should still look pretty familiar. You're still going to, thinking about the whole series that you read, give the action a score, the humor, the romance, the suspense and mystery, horror, gore, and characterization. So these are all still here. You still need to explain why you gave the score you did. So for me, for action, I said the hand-to-hand fighting galore, also a bear that fights. It's true. So for me, I loved it so much, so I gave it full points all the way to the maximum for action. And then each of the ones below, I filled in. Just to remind you how to do that, you click your mouse in the space, come up to the paint bucket, and pick the color you want, and it fills it in. Okay. I want to go back to orange now. Okay. So for me, I did this. I did the chart with the rating chart. That helped me do the three reasons with evidence. Okay. What's funny is I picked characterization, action, and humor and just talked about them more. So I just picked things off this list of six. You can have other reasons. You can talk about the art. You can talk about the pacing of the story. You can talk about the believability of the story, whatever you want to talk about, three things that you liked about it and why. I just picked things that were straight off of this chart. So for me, action, I gave it such a high score, it was really easy for me to talk about that. So I bring up first, so use a nice little sentence starter because I have a list first, second, third. First, I said I love the characterization. The three leads, Black Widow, Hawkeye, Winter Soldier, The writing made each character feel very familiar. Hawkeye was still earnest, and he was funnier than he is in the films. Winter Soldier was just as stern as always, but he was way more sarcastic than I was ready for. And Nat was as elusive and guarded as always until the very end. So, a characterization for us, that just means, does this character feel real? Do they have layers to them? Do they feel like they could possibly be a real person? And that's how I talked about here. Okay. Second, I said the action is all you'd expect from an assassin, an archer, and a super soldier. Of course, their enemies are just as well trained. There's lots and lots of hand to hand combat and some hand to paw combat because there is a talking bear that fights. And then I said, third, I talked about that there's more humor here than you'd think in a story about a beheaded assassin returning from the dead to slay her enemies. There is a talking bear, really. The best parts are the constant bickering between Hawkeye and Winter Soldier. They really do not get along, but they keep working together. It makes the story fun to read. Okay, so coming down, we're almost done. These are the same as in the last time we practiced. So you want to pick, I have on that, I linked in the directions the list of theme topics that are common in comic books and graphic novels. So for me, I picked hope, dying, survival, and revenge, and I gave it a 5 out of 5. And then my review statement says, if you enjoy hard-hitting, fast-paced drama with a side of humor, you want to read Tales of Suspense. So why is this a proficient example? I have at least 4 topics. I have a rating. I have my review statement. Let's work up from the bottom. We're going to check our work here. I have a rating for each category going across from minimum to maximum. I also have an explanation. It's not very long, and that's okay. I have an explanation for each of these ratings. Okay. Moving up a little bit. I have my favorite quote or favorite moment that I talk about. I have, this is new for this document, is the reasons I loved, and you can love it or you can say reasons you didn't like it, the series that I read, Tales of Suspense. And I have 3 reasons explained. Moving up a little more, I have the summaries kind of overview, and I think it's almost 5 to 8 sentences. I have some complex sentences here, so those count sometimes as more. And then moving back up to the top, I checked that I have the artist name and the author's name. I have the title of the series and the title and the book numbers. I have my name and I have a picture. Hopefully this video is helpful to you, and good luck working on your project.